Absolutely love what I'm seeing time and time again. Bex being one of the first bands to start off after she had such a phenomenal week, so I like it a lot, and Jinx taking away along with the TF.
Yeah, I really like the TF takeaway as well. Seiken in particular has been performing on it really well as far back as last week, so it makes sense you want to get rid of that. And they're actually going to take away the Diana as well, interestingly enough. I think the thing I'm interested in is the jungle picks, because I think if you look at both of these junglers, Lee Sin probably going to be a really high priority. I mean, we've seen 113's Lee Sin both in this league and in the show match. It was disgusting. We saw Shio last week pop absolutely off, earning the moniker Surgical Shio from you, I believe. So I'm sure that's something that both of these teams might be fighting for.
Yes, sir. Like you were mentioning, both these guys are very, very talented junglers. Like you were mentioning, 113, this guy is a young prodigy who's like 17, and even at what, hit challenger at 14, right? He's had 4 challenger accounts in EU once he was 15. So across the board, I'm liking this a lot. But this is kind of what I was expecting. With the Diana ban, BDSA got a good read, and the first pick Renekton so far for Karmine, they're looking to scrap and fight early on.
Dude, Cabochard is the top laner I would want on Renekton, to say the least, dude. This dude is absolutely nuts, earning the nickname Cabochad for a reason, especially he's been able to do some just very not okay things on this champion. So you usually don't often see Renekton pick this early, but I think for him, it does make a lot of sense.
Yeah, and when we were looking at it, right, so now we have to see how BDSA decides to respond to what is going to be a lot of this early top side pressure. And I know you said never get baited by the hovers. My heart does beat a little bit though every single time I see something interesting. And there's the Caitlyn, a pick that we've seen banned almost consistently throughout the entire day here, Beatdown.
Yeah, it's interesting that I was wondering if they were going to be just dancing around it, especially if something like that LeBlanc came through. I think it would have been fine, but the Caitlyn now has been picked up. Considered the strongest AD most of the time, is just banned out on red side always. But BDSA, maybe not expecting to get it, maybe they were. Either way, they have locked it in, and we'll see if the supporters actually want what they would like to pick on 3.
I would think that maybe they might try to match just a mid lane pick, right? But maybe they want to see how the overall draft kind of flushes out, just to make sure the Zico doesn't necessarily going into a ton. Though, but this Rise pick, we're going to talk about a lot more later on. But this, right now, Forsaken is his bread and butter. This guy is such a deep champ pool, but Rise was one of his absolute favorites. But I like this a lot. I like this a lot. They're bringing out the Gnar, the poke lane. It was actually so solid into Renekton.
That's right, and it was actually played a lot into Renekton last week with some good amounts of success in many different regions, actually. It's a really strong pick, I think, into it later on. But the thing is, you are susceptible pretty early on. And when you think about Lee Sin, when you think about Renekton, and even Rise, Seiken, like you were saying, one of his strongest picks. A lot of teams, what they did ever since Rise really found his way back, it's about shoving mid, trying to use that lead to win top, and with that Realm Warp, you have a lot of plays able to be made in both sides of the map, but I have a feeling Aggressivu is going to be seeing a lot of that attention.
Yeah, because with Weaver shaping out, right, what we want to see so far for BDSA is something that can possibly match the clear of the Rise, or at least keep him in lane as long as possible. And with TF taken away, along with the Victor as well, and the Vex, you're thinking, okay, your options are kind of dwindling, right? So you have the setup around Orianna possibly with pretty good ball delivery, with both the Gnar and, of course, the Xin. And with the last back from Corp, I imagine it'll be a support ban just to limit that pool even more so for BDSA. And there's the Lux, so a bit of a double flex for BDSA.
Right, and you do end up taking away that Caitlyn Lux combination, so that Erdote won't be able to run that. And yeah, I'm also questioning, yeah, you could. I actually don't think it would be too bad. It would still offer a lot of lane pressure. And I actually think that Spell Shield will come in handy when you think about things like the Renekton stun coming through. But I think for now, they're going to wait until the very end to pick their support, it looks like, as they are going to make sure Zico gets himself a pretty decent mid lane matchup. It is going to be the Corki coming through, offering just as much range like we were seeing last game coming from Chayek.
Corki is so good right now. Austin and you were talking a little bit about, just his flexibility. It does a build currently, and of course, just the package, whether you're building AD or AP, it does not matter. It literally toasts you if you're standing on it for more than a couple of seconds. But going down to this is actually really interesting because Records decides to pick us up the Ezreal, so we should see a bunch of roam-heavy support coming off of the side of Corp, but we'll see. We'll decide to pick up, although with Thresh taken away, Nautilus is still up on the table, Lux taken away as well. So I'd be interested to see if they go for much more of an enchanter style, but oh!
It's a hover. I was thinking more maybe along the lines of something like a Braum.
What?
Nautilus is also a thing. Holy crap! It's actually going to be the Pike for Huntera.
Oh my god, this is awesome. So I was reading about it just last night as well. Huntera is one of the few Pike players in the LFL. This guy is absolute monster on it. I was saying, you know, considering you're in an Ezreal lane, you want something to roam. You want this guy to go around across the entire map, and what better way to do so because just slithering across with nobody actually noticing you. And a little bit of defense coming their way, so that's gonna be the Braum. I like this a lot. You offer disengage and just the ability to possibly not die.
Honestly, the chances are too you could get taken by the hook and immediately dash back to your AD carry as well, so you have a lot of ways to be able to avoid that.
Yeah, exactly like you're mentioning. I'm liking both of these drafts a lot though, Corp. We're saying consistently, yo. And here we are, Karmine versus BDSA. Now the match that I was looking forward to the most, I know many of you been waiting for this. Y'all been asking when's Karmine playing? Well, they're playing right now. So I'll make sure y'all ready because as of this moment, it's about to get hot and heavy.
So far, and you know what, one thing we hadn't talked about yet, I just realized is that we were hyping up the Lee Sin for both of these players, but 113 actually does get to pop on to the blind monk. This man is a phenom on this champion. The things he is able to do, the mechanics this guy shows, it is just unreal. And you know what? 113 working with Huntera, somebody gets hooked in. I think that's a really great angle for 113 to either find some engage angles, find these really special kicks to be able to allow KC to win some of these fights. Because when you think about Cabochard, what he's looking to do, especially once we get outside this laning phase, any way he can kind of close the gap or have someone come closer to him so that he can start to stun you up, take you down, and get that numbers advantage is a good thing. Yeah,
and because then right now with the way both of these junglers are starting, both of them going down to the bot side, early ward coming down from BDSA, so they know at least that both junglers will be matching the clear. And with knowing 113 and knowing how they'll be looking to push in on aggressive Oon, considering he is poke, so he should get the earlier push, probably going around wave 3. And 113 should be there with right enough time at level 3 to try to punish him. Now, if you are a Gnar in this matchup, of course, like you mentioned before, you do have to stay very safe, especially early on. Mini Gnar is so squishy as Zico just gets chopped down with the first couple of seconds. And like we're saying, aggressive a little bit too far forward as he will go Mega. So by the time we see 113 up there, he will not have it.
No, very likely. And I mean, pretty soon it's going to run out. He's getting to that level 3 mark. So as you say, it could come through here. And Seiken doing work in the mid lane. One of his signature picks is already getting this wave shove here, spending a lot of his mana to do so, but he's got some biscuits, he's got that corrupting potion, and already it looks like he is also on the move.
Yep, there we go. He goes in and right outside the tower. The hop was used early on. Aggressive Wu goes down.
Really easy angle, really nice of Cabochard just to be able to force out the Mega, chunk him down just to make this play easier. Oh my god, Seiken is here for the TP back in. Oh, he's just done.
They want to commit to this too. He goes down right away.
That's twice.
No way, man. That's TP down, and they can't even capitalize onto Seiken. Zico can't even get in range. The TP chain just come abundantly.
That was a really nice play coming through from Seiken. It seems like he hesitated after that first kill came through, but they realized, hey, look, I have the push. Corki's on reset. I have an opening to help you get him on the TP back in. Aggressive Food loses so much. Because of that, he is losing on so much XP, he's forced to go into the mid lane.
Yeah, this is so tough right now, and like you're saying, this should be a little bit nicer because they're both poking, but we'll see this one more time, man. He dies, and then he goes back, and then he dies again. My god.
Right, and then you can see it. Again, the Corki still stuck in lane, can't do anything about it, and Seiken is already here, ready to go. At that point, the Rune Prism means it's so easy for him. Really nice juggle of turret aggro as well, making it so Cabochard doesn't die, and it's so that no one can actually follow up. No trades came through.
Yeah, and we wanted to see Cabochard pop off on this pick, right? You were mentioning there were no one that you would rather see on the Renekton than this guy right here. Considering he's a veteran voice within the team, and you know that he's one of the dudes, there's only one of the people on this team out of the solo lane who can carry. He could literally 1v9 on a Renekton who's 2-0, like you mentioned, is already halfway to his Gore Drinker. This fight is only going to get harder and harder and they don't find some way from BDSA to be able to at least slow him down a little bit, because going towards the 7 to 9 minute mark, suddenly, you know, K-Corp has so much fighting power, and BDSA, all they can do is hope to stay in a tower and maybe not die.
Especially for Aggressive on the top side, who, honestly, overall, is usually pretty strong player, really big for team fight setups, and on this Gnar, even though he has fallen very far behind, with some good megas, he might be able to get it done. Seiken, though, okay,
managed to proc the E, so Shio could take a little bit of damage if he chooses to go back in, but Seiken managed to stay safe, not even having to use the Rune Prison too. Just his threat alone is more than enough. But one big thing I want to point out as well is how Seiken set up the wave so well just to make sure that Zico, yet again, cannot become a factor in this fight.
Yeah, now we have the, I think 113s ends up, no, it's Shio who smites away the big Raptor, so he managed to get the majority of the XP. We have both supports on this top side of the map, because look who else is back under pressure. They're just full sending.
There we go. She has to flash over the wall, and Aggressive, all they can do is perhaps put on a little bit of slow. He is close to the Mega, but he's only level 4.
No way.
But yeah, Airdyne is there. You don't want to take this, and the hook back will at least just establish more dominance.
Yeah, I mean, the only bright side is that Zico is shoved in the mid-wave. You are losing out on some golden XP if you are Seiken, who is still in the area, but ultimately, you are eliminating Aggressive from this game, so they feel it is worth the trade. This wave is getting proxied.
He's 2 levels down.
He's lost a wave and a half.
Yeah, he's not even 5 yet. Meanwhile, Cabochard is 6.
Oh my god, he won't let it back.
This is a nightmare for every single top laner. Now, I've been in this situation before, and as a Gnar, realistically, all you can hope for is that once Cabochard actually leaves lane, you can maybe get some scraps of the wave that's left, but look at this.
There won't be anything left.
Oh my god, he's just pulling the entire wave. It can keep pushing it. He's gonna be down so much experience. Cabochard might be able to hit level 7 and get so much solo turret gold that at this point he's 1 plate away. This is disgusting.
That whole wave is gone. There it is. The top lead is actually just absolutely sickening, and you can see it. It's just shown in K-Corp's gold lead overall. It's all Cabochard. He's 2-0. He's up 30 CS. He's up looking like almost 2.5 levels on this Gnar. Aggressive is a long way from any relevance to showing us any bit of the team fighting prowess that he's shown us last week.
He is not allowed to play the game anymore. He's 1,000 gold up. Oh my god.
Yeah, of course.
That's like, yeah, almost 2,000 here, but I was saying before, he's the entire league on the team, K-Corp. But of course that makes sense considering that only 2 minutes in. Hook was a little bit wide for Pantera, but now Crownshot has to be a bit more careful because Lulk on the back end, sadly Airdyne is not going to be there to try to defend him, but they can see and smell the aggression. So they're calling down Shield to make sure that they stay safe, but Pantera is actually going out of lane.
That's right, he's looking for more roam angles, could find something in the mid lane, or at the very least apply pressure, move with 113, so that he could help set up for this first dragon that no one has actually taken so far, especially with Shio actually starting this one off. Because Pantera is here, maybe they won't be able to do something, but I guess because Crownshot has that wave shoved in, it just means K-Corp are going to let that one go and continue allowing 113 to steal away some of his jungle camps. Because of that, he's level 6. There's play that he could potentially make. I mean, realistically, he could go back to the top lane, set up a kick onto Aggressive and just kill him again.
Yeah, consider they're already there with the Rip Herald as well. So right now, Karmine is thinking they can absolutely do whatever they want across the entire map. But Reckless, left alone on weak side, Wind will not become lightning due to just choice by Shio. Instead, they'll just choose to take tower plates on the back end of it. And Zico has also managed to TP mid, but when he's shoving it in, he actually can't move over to Herald or bot side either. So for now, we'll see Reckless. He'll be left weak side, but he'll be left alive, considering how much Pantera has been roaming. But we can't expect this, right? This is Ezreal lane. You know him to just like chill back and just farm as much as he can.
Yeah, he can usually farm pretty safely under tower, only misses minions because Shio also shows his face and threatens that dive, which would certainly go in their favor if they ended up pulling the trigger on it. But ultimately, only down 10 CS. Honestly, not losing out on a whole lot here for Reckless, so everything is just going perfectly in this early game for the side of KC.
KC right now as well, like you're saying. All the momentum in their favor. Now it has to depend on how they decide to capitalize on this.
No way.
Okay, he smites it away. 113. Gets a little bit of damage on him, but Cabochard and 113 are just so much stronger. So any fight would ultimately go their way in this 2v2, especially with the Renekton, with the dominance. Speaking of which,
Wow,
he
nice kick.
There we go. He's got 113 flashes over the wall. Zico, ooh, barely missing that rocket, keeping the blind monk alive.
Man, that's got to feel good. And this is what I mean about 113. Not just how mechanically skilled this kid is, but the confidence that he plays with. With the lead like this, he knows, hey, buddy, I'm coming in. There's nothing you can do about it here. And he ends up kicking Shio. The Crescent Guard means literally nothing. And now Cabochard, as soon as he shows up in lane, he says, hey, Aggressive-Vu, it's time for you to lose 2.5 waves. And he's like, okay.
All right, fine, I guess. He's just literally being bullied, but he knows that he can't do anything about it. This is so unfortunate, though. But I like this play a lot, too, considering they just drone right towards the top side to be able to take and get more gold on him, as we see the play that happened mid.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just perfect. Like, you get the flash stun from Cabochard into the ward, would look like a ward hop kick there. Ooh. Onto Shio on the Xin Zhao, and because of that, it's just an easy kill for them to really set up. And there was nothing he could do, even with the ult. And because of that, Seiken, of course, Realm Orbs top to make sure Aggressive-Vu is just having a bad time, because that's what this game's all about. It's not about wins. It's not about Karmine Corp actually trying to do well with all the acquisitions and things they've been doing in the offseason. No. It's about making sure Aggressive-Vu has a bad time.
Oh,
they don't like him.
No, it's because with all y'all listening right now, you got to make sure if you're a top laner, you have to know that if you're in an unfortunate matchup, that means that everybody will dogpile onto you. Of course. You're not allowed to play the game. There's been a lot of that today. In fact, top laner just not being allowed to play just because they get pushed in just a little bit, man. What is it when people just dogging on us, bro? Come on, I know we're on an island, but we just want to relax. We want to farm. We want kills.
It's not allowed.
No, clearly not. But on Terra, we were talking a lot about him. He is also looking and fishing for these kills. He's on vision, though, so they'll see where they're moving, and mid seems to be the next target. Yeah,
and Huntera, we haven't seen any of the resets come through. He's not quite level 6 at the moment, doesn't have the death from below. For some reason, Zico doesn't end up picking the package. He's going to leave it there, interestingly enough. Maybe he believes there's nothing to necessarily fight for. It'll expire before the dragon comes up. Yeah. Regardless, that means that can't really do anything about these plates going down in the mid lane. It's going to be hard for him to threaten any actual play for this dragon unless he recalls in the next 30 seconds or so to go back and pick it up. Either way, everything going very well for KC, even though the majority of the lead is in the top side of the map. Ultimately, you have Ezreal, you have Ryze, who are happily just farming in a much more relaxed environment, something aggressive who feels like it's never known in his life.
No. He's never known what it means to actually not be under just a threat of death almost his entire
When you're
game.
getting beaten like that, I'm sure your mind starts playing tricks on you. It's like, this is what top lane's always been. This is what top lane is. I never get to play the game. It's just a dangerous thing.
I don't know what farm is. I've never seen a farm. In fact, my entire life, a full wave has never come my way. 6 minions, I've only seen 3.
Yeah.
I don't know what you guys are absolutely talking about, but on the other hand, like we were saying, second Rift Herald will also take advantage of this mid tower falling as well at 12 minutes, getting the top and the mid and top just off of Cabochard's pressure. And there we go, that's gold given over right in time to get the package. And speaking of which, like you're saying, there it is now. It is up in time for Dragon. Zico executing to how you mentioned.
So there it is. It's been about setting up for this Dragon play, but the problem is, even if Aggressive-Vu manages to TP in, which he can't for a minute actually, to start off the fight, it doesn't feel like it ends up being worth it, because you're in a position where K-Corp is so strong. Cabochard, he's already walked his way down here, this extremely fed Renekton. You don't actually have a way to fight this if you're BDSA, even with that Corki package. So it feels like now Zico's just going to sit on it, maybe look for a fight after, but this is not a good angle for BDSA. I mean, Huntera is level 6, 113 has the kickback, Dragon's already taken it, it's just over.
And you could not ask for a better Dragon right now for Karmine Corp. They get the Inferno, so suddenly with all the damage profile that they're putting out, this will only elevate everything they want to do. So let the Dragon stacking begin for themselves now outside of BDSA. I'm sure they're looking to at least just slow down the game a little bit, but with this play, they at least survive. This is why looking at the Braum Erudite saves his ADC's life for just a couple of minutes.
And I love this too, because Cabochard is like so strong, so far ahead. He's just walking around the map at this point.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing aggressive does in the next 5 minutes, even if he just continuously farms, is going to allow him to catch back up. But because of this, BDSA, they're hard committing onto him. It's 3v2.
Immediately he knows that he pops the dominance. Even just all that will not be able to take him down. The heal with one more juice will be able to get it. The Gore Digger doesn't actually pop. They get him. A shutdown going over the crown shot.
I mean, of all people, if you're BDSA, that's where you want some of that extra gold going here. I think that was 300 bonus gold, 600 total. And also, this is on the Caitlyn, who Crown Shot has actually been finding pretty decent leads on early on. And now he can rotate to this mid lane, continue applying pressure to the likes of Reckless, who he's got a pretty decent lead on. And in these team fights, if BDSA get the looks that they want with their team composition, Crown Shot can actually pull them over the finish line. The big thing, though, is that Aggressivu needs to get to that first item, needs to get some more levels. I think once he finally gets to level 11, he gets a lot more stats with that. Meganar has the ultimate up every time he transforms. Then BDSA can start looking for some of these fights here. They have opportunities for Aggressivu to finally do something outside of top lane.
Yeah, and it's also getting one item as well, right? With the way you're looking at it, like just a big part of the composition is to be able to get the cooldown. But speaking of cooldowns, there we go. Ontario has the cooldown on some water. Nice pick given over by Chico. BDSA finds some more space to possibly capitalize on the second apparel.
Wow, that's actually a pretty big shutdown. Unfortunately, Huntera failed flashes and is not able to get over the wall, but ultimately, Rift Herald is still in 113's hands, as you say, and now they can just drop it to this top side of the map. Seiken, really strong, especially the fact that he went for the Luden's Echo build instead of the Everfrost. It is all about burst damage all the time here, Ravi.
And burst it shall be, my friend. And what I was trying to say before too, like you're saying, aggressive move. Once he finally has one item, a team fight prowess that will eventually come out. Because you're looking at the Meganar, the big thing is that once he puts in more abilities, right, he'll be able to at least get more Nars off and be able to do a lot more damage, because you want him to stay in the fight as long as possible. But until he gets to Divine Thunder, won't be able to do much of that at all. And even more gold is being funneled into Cabashard. The opposite to Aggressive, who's thinking, okay, he's not towards his second item and continue to push this wave, but look at all the attention given over by BDSA to make sure to shut him down bot side, and now this allows the Reckless to farm even more mid.
Yeah, BDSA, though, they really want to try and defend this tier 2 turret. They don't want to let too much go, but they're losing out farm in the mid lane, and it's just slowly BDSA have been bleeding dry ever since Aggressivu was receiving all this pressure on the top side of the map, and now Crown Shot's finally going to go push out this mid wave. Chico is looking for something, see what he can get with these rockets, but ultimately KC happily going to walk away with even more gold in their pocket.
Yeah, they can continue to push their lead however they so well please. We're saying that especially on the back of Cabashard, going down from top to mid to bot, right? He goes in, pushes the wave, and Fox to capitalize on a turret. And past all that, they then leave BDSA to try to respond to him and shut him down, because they know if they leave him alone on a side lane, if he will continue to push as long as he has space. Because on the back of it, we were looking a lot, taking a look at Reckless before as well. He's been essentially just given isolation time this entire game. He's managed to farm up. Although he's not at the same level as the Caitlyn in terms of farm, he's looked quite strong. But Seiken, the headshot barely weaves his way through. A really nice pick, and yet again by Crowny to take advantage of that.
That is a pretty big deal. The fact it looked like 113 wanted to try and eat that with the safeguard, but was not able to kind of time it. So it was a little awkward, and now what that means is that you lose all your priority over this dragon. Seiken, your biggest form of wave clear, not being there means, well, you kind of have to walk away from this objective. They could still potentially fight it. He'll be up a few seconds before it's there, but he will have to TP. The timing on this Meganar is actually pretty unfortunate for the side of BDSA as well. That's why you can see Aggressivu, he's looking to move to this bot lane to hopefully try and build it back up, but he's going to have to stack it on the dragon.
Both TPs are down. They're starting up the dragon, but they have to go in there. Bursting it down. Huntera's on the side of Cabashard, looking for a way in. They can't slow him down. There's the rift, but they go in. Oh my god, Crown Shot takes it. Heal and flash blown, but their shield gone. But at least from here, they managed to extend and delay the game. BDSA hold out.
Oh man, I think Ordote kind of messed up there using that Braum ultimate, that Glacial Fissure over the wall. Maybe he thought Huntera was not the only person there, but the fact that one, it was only on the pike, and two, it missed, that's a major team fight ult that you don't know. You didn't have access to anymore. And because of that, K-Corp didn't have a problem walking in and picking up these kills. Had he held on to it, maybe BDSA could have looked for the turn, could have looked for the fight after. But either way, at least BDSA do secure the dragon, so they are halfway to an Infernal Soul. But you got to imagine at this rate, it's going to be very hard for them to be able to pick up the rest of the dragon.
Yeah, because consistently right from here, right, they are capitalizing in a big way on just getting these very singular but very crucial picks off the back of probably Crown shot calling, because you've seen that before they got Sagan, previously got Huntera as well. So Karmine, they're giving away a little bit, but still by the end of it, if this continues happening like you were mentioning for BDSA, then they might have a potential way back into the game, but they're still 5k down at just 20 minutes. But if this continues on, we will reach that golden hour where you're thinking, okay, Redacted, it's not as strong anymore. We have some defenses, so they are definitely on a ticking clock that Karmine needs to try to extend, especially off this reset. Possibly stop that shield takes a little chunk, but we should be able to back.
And your point about Cabochard being on the timer, it makes a lot of sense. And every time, as you said, every time they get a pick, every time they get him more gold and keep him ahead of Aggressive Vu, they extend that timer just a little bit more, making it easier for him to not necessarily have to find flank angles, but just allow him to walk straight forward and try and get on top of somebody. He could flash W if he really wants to make a play happen. And because of that threat, it's part of what BDSA is struggling with. A front line they can't deal with, and the front line of their own has been struggling to really find these good Gnar timings all game long, and now it's just a vision game. We're playing to try and set up for this Baron, but ultimately, BDSA can't actually walk into the river. It's very hard for them at the moment.
And this is actually setting up around vision and objectives is where a lot of where BDSA excels. We've seen in the past 2 weeks that what they focus on more often than not is slowing down the pace of the game, making sure that they can set up around the back of the utility, and their vision across both neutral objectives has been excellent. But considering the way they've shaped us so far, they've just not been allowed in their own jungle. You can see that with Shield being down a couple of camp strikes, 113, no matter where he walks, he always has a buddy with him. So BDSA have actually had to resort to simply just walking as a 3 or 4 pair, because they knew in a 2v2 skirmish, they will lose every single time. So I don't mind the whole pinky holding aspect of a lot of it, but every time Karmine Core shows up, like right now, it's forced them out. So they said, all right, y'all want to hold pinkies? Well, let's hold pinkies together and play Red Rope.
And you can see these in the gold charts here. Most gold in the game still in favor of Crown Shot by a couple hundred gold. He's been farming really well. He's got the majority of BDSA's kills. But after that, you got people like Saken and Cabochard taking the lead. And at this point now, because of this vision game, Huntera, he can look for some of these hooks. He can look to try and get some of these picks. So far, we haven't seen anything too big, but sometimes the threat alone seems to be enough, especially when KC are so handedly winning a lot of these fights here.
And Karmine have just been centering around his top side, looking for a way in. We'll see if Cabochard can possibly find a realistic flank angle, but the poke from Corky is ultimately keeping them at bay, and Crown Shot also looking towards his third item, right where Caitlyn finds a sweet spot by being able to chunk half your health with those headshots. So as the game continues forward, if Crown Shot stays safe, and Zigo can continue to scale up, and BDSA can continue to thwart off any engage from KC.
They do thwart the engage. God damn, that's a lot of damage.
Yeah.
They do thwart a lot of the engages from KC, but ultimately the pressure is still there, Ravi. The vision that they're unable to clear is still there, and because of that, every now and then, they have to commit resources to pushing out this mid wave so BDSA can safely move up to this top jungle. If everyone is off the map, they have to second guess themselves, like, oh man, are KC on the Baron? What's going on here? Someone has to move to check at least somewhat, and that's what we're seeing Aggressive do at the moment here. But at the moment, right now, we're 20 seconds away from another dragon. BDSA managed to get this. They could play for Soul, and that's their way back in the game. But KC, they're looking for this objective as well. So we got to imagine we're going to start seeing them set up, especially with Cabochard already pushing that bot wave so far.
We said it before too, if Cabo finds a way to have a solo lane to himself, so he'll take that any day of the week handily, but they do send on Aggressive, try to respond to him. Both these top laners have TP. They've held him in, and Aggressive was decently close to Mega Gnar as well. Cabo Bit of a potential flank angle in. There we go. That's packaged down so early on, but they catch on one. Aerodite is
he's low, he's dead.
There we go.
Cancel
The
ulti.
2-shot barrage. Now Cabo is in against 3. Look on the back end. Crown Shot is caught up by himself. They isolate the carry, and then he gets destroyed. Now Shio on the run. Zico on the run. Aggressive, but to run out of the Mega Gnar, and Zico gets the stopwatch down, but live for a couple more seconds. There we go. The Immersible will not save you. They don't want the dragon, they want the base.
And they're gonna at the very least break it open. They've almost aced them. They have a wave coming in bot. I don't think they can, no, they actually absolutely can go for this inhib if they want to, but instead they are worried about the low health bars. They know dragon is up and it's their opportunity, so they're just gonna walk their way back down and grab dragon number 2. BDSA not gonna be able to play for that soul at least anytime soon, and KC just continuing to hold on to their leads. And honestly, again, you got to give a lot of credit to Cabochard. Always finding these angles, especially after pushing in that bottom wave, just allowing him to be able to hit somebody from the back.
And this is actually really well played, methodical, even from Karmine. A little bit of a venture from we saw last week, right, where it was just go, 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 and then
That's true.
stay until you get kills. And we're gonna take a look at the play again, where you saw Zico a bit too far forward, packages out, and Aerodite gets caught.
Right, and ultimately, I'm not really sure what he was thinking there. Maybe he was trying to predict the engagement and dodge it with the package, but ultimately, he ends up leading Urdote to his death, and no Glacial Fissure means that Cabochard can just full send it, and the fact that it gets so much worse when Crown Shot gets picked up on his own. There was no way this was going to end anywhere else besides the borderline ace we saw coming from K-Corp, and that means we're at 2 dragons apiece. The gold lead is still just astronomical in favor of Karmine Corp, and now with nothing else to fight for, we're in the same position. BDSA struggling to get vision, and once K-Corp cleans it up like they have been this whole time and just push their vision line into the enemy jungle, now the Baron is what everyone's looking for.
And you saw as well, just with that vision toggle too, the map is dark right now for BDSA, so I hope they're not afraid of it, because I know I am. If I were to walk in here, I'd be terrified and yelping at just the thought of walking into a potential bush where I get caught out within seconds. BDSA have to find some sort of angle, some sort of space to try to take something here, but good Cabochard there on the back end. In front of the flank angle, but he just cannot get in. Running out of the rage, but Shield goes in. There we go.
Oh,
nice guard. Cabochard is super low. They cannot find the heal.
Nice
Even
kick.
for the poke, he manages to walk away. The
Oh, he got
rocket.
him.
The snipe from Shield. At least he'll get one more out of this, but they want to extend this. Might want to fight, but oh, there we go. They managed to make a bid. Try to defend against the tower.
Yeah, really nice Realm Warp to get them all into lane here. Try and wave clear as much as they can, but they have to respect Aggressive Ooze. Mega Gnar. Urdote loses a lot of his HP for that move, but ultimately a very positive play coming through for BDSA. Catching out Cabochard is a big deal. No matter how strong he is, you do have a lot of DPS. So if you whittle him down, and even if you don't kill him, if you get him out of the fight, you have a good chance.
Yeah, exactly. And exactly like you saw, suddenly, as soon as Cabochard was gone, they decided they'll be able to just walk away.
Oh, you're joking.
This is a very, very bold call by Karmine. I do not know if they wanted it to be a potential bait, but Cabochard's up.
I mean, the damage is there. It's already halfway done, and now, like you said, Cabochard is here. He doesn't have the dominance, but there are still potential openings here. Urdote, crucially, does not have the Glacial Fissure. He might just lose his life.
Oh my god, he's gone yet again. Now it's a 4v5, so now we're thinking, okay, Shio can potentially find his way in. Crown Shot as well, puts a lot of damage, and so does his Corky. So, potentially whittle it down. The Smite is up to looking for a steal here to beat down.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. The pink in the pit does mean BDSA. They have all the eyes they need on how much HP this Baron has left, but now it's Cabochard on the move. Now he has the dominance, and with the damage from that True Shot barrage, oh, Cabo's just full sending it.
There we go. Now he goes in, looking for a big stun as well on the back, and he gets caught
Oh,
out.
wow,
Yet
he's
again.
gonna die.
He's gone, but Crown Shot is dead as well. It's 2k health on the Baron. Aggressive for a way in. So much damage. Shoes already in. He gets immobilized. He's gone. That's a Baron for 113 and for Karmine.
I can't believe how bold K-Corp are. For so long, 113 was the only one in the Baron pit, losing so much of his health, and he wanted to stay. The confidence this player keeps on showing is something to behold, and it starts off here. Dote, again, he doesn't have the ultimate, and no Braum ulti means it's going to be really hard for you to actually fight this one out. So once he goes down, at this point, it's just free real estate for K-Corp. But they did it a lot slower than one would expect. I would love to have the damage numbers on how much damage the Baron did to K-Corp's squad, because it was a lot. But even so, Shio trying to go in and steal it ultimately didn't amount to a whole lot. I can't even tell. I want to see if it was actually a smite fight, or maybe they just killed Shio before he could ever smite.
I think he did go in, but I believe it was a potential smite fight, because you saw that only one more thing he took it. Like, yeah, there we go. Shio goes in, the Baron, in fact, does a ton of damage, and Seiken.
Yeah, just a Seiken kills him.
Blows him up. Now, we haven't had a ton of chance to talk about Seiken so far, because this guy rose through Vitality B all throughout the LFL, and even through the stint in the LEC, right? You saw that he was a phenomenal player, and even won EU Masters 2021 as well through spring and summer. This dude's champ pool is absolutely absurd, but his rise is where he shines.
And we've been seeing it all game, 3, 1, and 6, maybe gonna be 4, but actually Chico will use the package to get away and walk away with his life, but still the pressure is there. You have Baron of minions coming in top, you have Baron of minions coming in mid, and with this commitment, BDSA, they have to watch Seiken, who's in the top side.
Okay, 1-1-3. There we go. He finds the Q in, but he just doesn't go in. No. I thought he might have had a flank angle, but look at this instead. Top side, Seiken putting out that pressure, the same 4-1 push we saw last game.
And there it is, like you're just waiting for Aggressivu to run out of the Mega, and you can walk back in and start to aggress if you really want to here, but be careful now because they know their jungler isn't actually around. 1-1-3 is going to pick up the next Infernal Drake that just spawned, and that's going to be sole point for Karmine Corp. I mean, we're reaching this 30-minute mark where K-Corp are 10k ahead. It may not even come down to the soul here. We got 40 seconds on this Baron buff. If a positive fight comes through for K-Corp, they could just look to end the game right here. I mean, look at Huntera. He's hanging in the darkness here, looking for an opportunity to help set up a kill.
Now, we were talking a lot about Huntera's pike, and he's one of the few support players that actually does play it, but although he hasn't had the opportunity to get a ton of resets, right? Yet again, the big thing about Karmine is not just the potential, but just the threat. The intimidating aura that you give off, like, as if you're the biggest enemy villain there is. You walk onto the stage, your music plays, you're thinking it's all but over. A shield. That's the part of the Kaiser card yet again. But 1-1-3.
Oh, the
so
kick!
Deep, the kick! But he goes, the stopwatch is in for him. He stays alive, but he's gone now, though. But they trade jungler for top laner. Aggressive, no Mega. He's gone and done so. We'll see if BDSA extend this, but no. Karmine decide to stay alive and not overextend.
I think that's the correct call, and I like that this change from Karmine Corp, because things we saw from them in their show matches against Koi, and even in the match they lost to Mirage last week, biting off more than they can chew is what costs them, and it's what leads some of us to question their late game performances and decision making. So seeing that change such a short time is just very refreshing from this roster, and it just allows them to perform the way we expect them to, as they are definitely one of the most hyped and probably top teams coming into this league.
Like you were saying, and they have been for so long, right? Because you look at the stars that are on this team. We mentioned it before, but every single one of the lanes has the potential to 1v9. Cabo Chad, he speaks for himself. Reckless is, I believe, we're pretty sure his middle name is 1v9. And Seiken, we were saying as well, this guy with a phenomenal champ pool too, and he's seen so much success in with this right now. The DPS so far actually kind of does go cray. So right now for Karmine Corp, although no hard engage options, but BDS are kind of left floundering, thinking, how can we do anything against these guys?
It's gonna be hard. I mean, a lot of it, again, you look at your big engaged tools, you look at Aggressivu, who so far hasn't been able to find much of an impact when it comes to that Gnar and the ultimate, to be able to find some CC to allow BDSA to use the damage that they have, because they're carries. You got a Corki at 3 items, you got a Caitlyn at almost 4 items. Like, there's a lot of damage on this side, and you can see it every time someone from K-Corp gets caught out. But the way these fights have been going, BDSA can't find the angle. Their Gnar can't get the CC that they need to allow them to actually full send in these fights.
Yeah, and we've seen what poke composition can do when they have free reign to actually poke from space, right? So with Ground Shot and Zico, like we were saying before, they put out a lot of damage. Caitlyn right now is at 3.5 items as well. right, along with the Corki, just right around like 3.5 items as well. So those rockets too do disgusting amounts of damage. The headshots and everything Crown Shot literally does do disgusting amounts of damage. But the issue yet again, they haven't had the opportunity to do so. There's been no space at all. Because every which way an opportunity, you see a Karmine member on the map, immediately decide that BDS say, oh, it's on site, bro. So BDS decides, I actually want zero smoke. They gotta run away. Because again, Shield was there, saw the smoke and decides, no thank you. I have 0 fire extinguishers. I don't want to be here.
Well, it's tough too, because at this point, 113, it doesn't matter who he kicks. If somebody is there to get Insect, they get kicked into the team. He even kicked a Mega Nard Aggressivu into Karmine Corp, and they ripped him to shreds. That trade did end up costing his life, but ultimately, the fact that K-Corp can apply this pressure onto anybody, they can isolate them off great plays from 113 to just take them down, is a big deal. And now, because of this, they have all this pressure. Ravi, they're going to go for the Baron.
Reckless was a little bit far off after trying to get away. There we go. That's some nice little poke onto him just to add about half health. Now Shio's looking for his way in.
Oh,
there we go.
kick.
There's the kick. Flashes
Beautiful.
over. Oh my god, that was gorgeous by 113 just styling on him.
There it is, just making sure, like, hey buddy, I know you want to go for the trade or the 50-50, but you don't actually get to play. I'm tricking this coin. He gets it. Now the lead, it just keeps increasing. K-Corp one fight away from ending this game, but Ravi, I know I've been praising how well K-Corp have been playing in the later parts of the game, but we still have to see them close it out. They've been in this situation before against Mirage. So can they actually close it out, or will BDS finally get to use their damage? You know what, maybe not.
I mean, speaking of damage, they go to the package down immediately, but 113 is in trouble. One more auto to get the stun, but there you go, Cowboy Shattered. This strikes them away from everything coming at their face. 113, what is the Realm Morph in? Everybody on his team is a chat. They do not care. You were saying he missed the reset on Terra, but Aggressive will surely go down in 2 more seconds. There we go. Only 2 left alive for BDSA. Finally, they find the fight they were looking for. And dominance from beginning to end for Karmine.
Man, they just played this game so beautifully, Ravi. And the last stand from BDSA is coming, but it doesn't matter. K-Corp will rip them to shreds. And this is the Karmine Corp we expected to see. This is the performance that we wanted from them.
Absolutely, my friend. Dominance in the early game, and you saw how they played around their main carries. Gabushar popped off in a massive way.